Cast, you know how we do. Start every episode off with what we're grateful for. Like always, grateful for God, grateful for family, grateful for everything that I got going on. This weekend specifically, um, I am grateful that I'm back to kicking and sparring. Uh,
There you go.
tearing a hamstring muscle. It was for a little while there. I was really doubtful, and if you've been rocking with me, you know that I was in here like not distraught, but really not looking forward to my option. It was either surgery or maybe not fully recovering. So having a being able to still move around and do the things and knowing I don't need surgery and be laid up for a year and just rock with two hamstring muscles instead of three on one leg, that it works for me. So getting back to sparring and actually sweeping a dude, putting a bigger dude on his butt felt really good. Kicking people in the head felt really good. So it seems weird, but it's like these things that you you can overlook easily in life. So that's what I'm grateful. And I'm here with PK. How are you, sir?
Man, I'm blessed and grateful as well, man. Grateful to be here with you,
Yeah.
man. I appreciate you guys having me. Man, I'm just grateful for another day of life, another day to share my story,
Yeah.
hopefully to encourage, inspire some folk. So yeah, man, all is good, all is blessed. So thank you.
Man, no. Thank you for joining us. So we were like we should have went live earlier. Like I
Man,
we just got into we were having a dope conversation about coaching because we all we all work with the next generation, I guess you could call it, these up and comers in different fields. You and Corey both as far as basketball,
yeah,
me as far as fighting, um, not football as much, so really focus on fighting. And
yep,
it sounds like we all talk about the same thing, how the the lack of discipline or
yeah,
the lack of accountability
yeah,
or the lack of family structure really causes a problem for these young men, and I'll say young women as well, because I know there are a lot of athletes that are coming up that are female, so
yeah,
that
yeah,
they're just struggling.
yeah,
It puts them behind the eight ball because they don't have certain things in their life that will help them long term.
yeah.
And so be it was dope conversation, and it's cool to hear all of us working with people in different ways, basically saying the same thing. So
Yeah.
now, can you give us your background in basketball?
Yeah, not for sure. So originally from Boston, Massachusetts, got
Mm,
a shout out to 617. Grew up with my grandparents. And probably about age 10 or 11, they bought me a basketball hoop. So I didn't have a lot of friends because my grandparents raised me and they didn't have peers with kids my age.
mhm,
So it's like, how do I kind of break into social circles? How do
mhm,
I make friends? So someone suggested, man, get into basketball. So I remember my grandmother bought me a basketball hoop in the backyard, and I always tell this story. So I would be in the backyard playing on this hoop. It's one of them nicer ones that you
mhm.
get, from like Walmart or something. It's real nice with the glass little backboard.
Oh, nice.
And I'd
Yeah.
be out there hooping by myself. And there was this group of kids on the next street over in the backyard. And you could kind of see how it was set up in Boston. You could see in their backyard, even though they're on the next street over,
Mhm.
and they can see into mine. So they were watching me playing on this brand new hoop. And they was over there like six deep playing on the crate. They had the milk crate,
Oh, wow.
old school
Yeah.
milk crate
Yeah.
on the
Yeah. Yeah.
garage. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't even one of the square ones. It was one of them rectangle ones. It
Yeah.
was, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? You really had to, your jump had to be crazy for the rectangle one and to
Oh
get the
man.
square. So after a while, I was like, man, I need some friends. And they needed a hoop.
It
So,
worked. It worked
obviously,
well.
yeah, kind of everything kind of came together. So that's kind of how I started. Develop a love for the game.
Mm,
It really was something that gave me an identity. Again, I was raised by my grandparents. My mom had died when I was 4. My dad was in and out of jail.
mm,
And I was growing up in the hood, just like a lot of black males,
mhm,
and didn't have a lot of support. My home situation wasn't that great, but I had basketball. And basketball allowed me to make it out my neighborhood, be able to go walk on at Division I level at Coppin State University.
mm,
Played overseas, played in Dominican Republic, played in France, played in Mexico, played in some minor leagues across the
mhm,
country. Went to a couple of G League camps. Actually made one team for the preseason for a couple of games for getting cut. So you know, I've been very successful as a player, and then after playing, really got into the training and coaching game. Probably trained probably about 3,000 players in probably 10 different countries. Trained about 10 to 15 NBA players, probably another 5 to 10 WNBA players. Coach at the Division I level 3 years ago at North American University in Houston. So you know, I think basketball really been a big thing for my life. It's something that I love. I think that I would, you know, refer to myself as a basketball lifer. But more importantly, basketball has allowed me to have a platform and a certain amount of success where I got eyes on me, and then I can kind of talk about the things that really matter, which is to me, kingdom of God, treating people the right way, standing up for the right thing, love, perseverance, not giving up, facing adversity, overcoming all those things, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, every day, you know, it was my ability to dribble and handle the ball, and that got me a lot of attention. My ability to coach and train players that got me a lot of attention. But ultimately, it's more about not just training and making great basketball players, but making great people.
Oh man, we love that. Yeah, we definitely love that. I think that's another thing that us two can agree upon.
Yeah.
As far as like, cool, you become the greatest. That's dope, but be the greatest human.
Right.
Like,
Right.
how can we help you be the greatest human?
Right. Right. Yeah.
Something you mentioned that I don't know if many people talk like this. You said you were successful.
Yeah.
Even though the dream, I'm guessing the dream was the NBA.
Right. 100%.
And then it's a championship ring on the
100%,
NBA. Like I'm guessing that's everybody's dream, if in whatever they're doing, that's the goal.
Yeah.
But even though that's not where you ended up, I still think it's dope that you call yourself successful. You were successful.
Yeah.
And that's a different kind of mind frame to look at things, where other people say, "Oh, I didn't make it. Oh, I didn't reach success." Was that always the thought process, or what was the shift?
You know, obviously when I was a teen coming up in the game, I wanted to make the NBA. Like, I remember thinking to myself, like, if I don't make the NBA, like, I'm gonna die. Like, it was that it was that serious. And anyone that knew me, they knew how hard I worked. Like, my work ethic was legendary. Like, I would be outside 1 a.m. making moves in the summer, and people, the neighbors would call my grandparents, like, man, you need to tell your boy to go in the house. All I hear is boop, boop, boop. I'm trying to sleep. Like, I would be in the gym 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So I 100% wanted to, and was completely obsessed with that. But let me tell you, as I went on in life, I started to look at things in a different viewpoint. See, a lot of times we get our identity from our accomplishments. We get our identity from the things and the goals that we're chasing, right? And I realized after a while that my identity was so much in basketball that when things didn't go my way, I didn't know who I was. And I had to get back and figure out who I was outside of basketball. And that led me back into searching for a relationship with the person who created me. And when you are able to identify yourself as God identifies you, spiritually, not into the physical, but who he made you to be, you understand that, you know, for me, I completely understand why I didn't make the NBA. I've been able to be much more impactful in the lives of people not making the NBA than I would have had I made the NBA. And I know plenty of NBA players, and what people don't understand is what you see on NBC or ESPN, that's all glitz and glamour. Trust me, it's not like that in real life. I've been close enough to see that it's a beautiful thing. You can make a lot of money. You can have your dreams and all that, but there's a price that comes with that. You know, Bible says you can gain the world and lose your soul. You understand? So the reason why I say my life is a success is because I was able to do what I love to do. I'm 42 years old, and I pretty much spend the majority of my time in the gym playing basketball. It was still something that I was doing when I was 12 and 13 in the backyard. This is something that took me all over the world. This is something that brought me out my neighborhood, where my best friend was killed at 17 from one of my best basketball teammate as a friend was killed at 21. You see what I'm saying?
Mhm.
This is a neighborhood where my grandfather got shot in front of my porch and in my front porch. I was able to make it out. You see what I mean?
Mhm.
So, I think considering how I came up, how I ain't have no mom or dad, you got to scale everything. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Maybe somebody else that had more support and had their parents and didn't grow up in an environment, maybe that if they was me with the talent and work ethic I had, maybe they would have made it. But
Mm.
I'm real with myself and I'm able to scale it. And I say, man, considering I started off down 100, the fact that I've been able to make it to where I've made it, really to me, it's like I made the NBA.
Yeah.
You see
Yeah.
what I'm saying? When you break it all down, it's like, shoot,
Yeah.
like I'm supposed to be dead or in jail. I'm not supposed to be doing camps in Greece and Dominican Republic and France and
Mm.
I'm not supposed to be helping these young men change their lives, not just their basketball lives and women too, but
Mhm.
them as people. Basketball's brought me here. I was in Houston 6 months ago chilling and never was even thinking about being in Madison, Wisconsin. I swear to God, but that's how God has put me. He's sent me so many. That's why my Instagram is called Basketball Prophet. Because one of
Mm.
my boys said, "You are a traveling basketball prophet. Basketball is the platform, but he sends you to this city and that city to go in and try to bless people and also open people's eyes." And and it's crazy because me and he had commented and sent me a message. So I came up here to be the general manager at Shoot 360 Madison. I
Mhm.
took over that position 6 months ago. And had a lot of success. And he had brought his son to one of our events. We had Craig
Mhm.
Hodges, former Chicago Bulls, and really made a huge impact in the community. But whenever when you're doing too much good, you know that there's gonna be folks that's gonna be upset with that. And unfortunately, the person that was mad at the impact I was doing was the person who was writing my checks.
Mm.
And and this is someone who was much more concerned about money than people, was much more concerned about turning a profit than trying to bless others. And I truly
Mhm.
believe you can get to a bag, but when you do things the right way,
Yeah.
when you got talent
Yeah.
and value and you treat people the right way and you're about building others up and not tearing them down or using them,
Mhm.
all the money's going to come. It's a spirit. See, money is a spiritual thing.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? It can, when you do things the right way, you don't got to sell your soul. You don't got to do wrong. It's going to
Mhm.
come when you're good. And it became a situation where I believe that the individual felt that I was a threat to the pursuit of money by
Mm.
putting love in people first. What ended up with me last week losing my job, and really taking me away from a community of players and families that was really being blessed.
Mhm.
Um, but even with that being said, I understand now that when you're fighting for good, it's a fight. They say you fighting a good fight, man. You just taught, you teach martial arts.
Mhm.
You see what I'm saying? So you got to be able to, like you said, if you're not paying attention to what's going on, people will try to knock you out.
Yep.
But I was excited to be able to come here on this podcast. The title of it, You Control You.
Yeah.
Man, God don't play. He don't play. He know exactly how to orchestrate it. And even because we've been trying to get together for a little over a month. And I
Mhm.
think, I was out of town for a little bit and I got with you last week before the
Mhm.
situation happened. And
Yes.
we scheduled this in. See,
Mhm.
God divinely orchestrated all that because we could have got together a couple of weeks ago. We could have got together
Mhm.
prior. And the message that I wanted to give to people that's watching and wondering what's going on, how you feeling, what's next, what are you
Mhm.
gonna do? And the message for me is, and for all the young people and everyone that's watching this, is even when people do you wrong, when they do you dirty, when things don't go your way, all you can control is you. And I
Yes.
want to continue to show that all the lessons that I taught these kids, perseverance, not
Mhm.
giving up, staying positive, keep believing, keeping your faith. Well, here's an opportunity for me to walk that out in real
Mm.
time. It just ain't talking, you know what I'm saying? I live it. See what I'm saying? So y'all, they can watch me go do something. They can watch how I respond
Mhm.
and say, you know what? I still got a smile on my face. I'm still positive. I'm
Mhm.
not here. I'm not sitting here feel like I have to defend myself or talk bad about the other party and get into all the details because I know the truth stands
Mhm.
on its own. And all I can control is me. You see what I mean? And if you do that, you can look in the mirror at the end of the day. I said to somebody, I said, when I die, all I want people is to stand up and say is that, you know what? You may not agree with everything he said. You may not agree with everything he did, but he kept it 96 plus 4. And that way I can stand before God one day and be like, you know what? I did the best with what you gave me. And at the end, that's all you can do is do you.
Man, you just created a t-shirt. Like, it just crossed my brain. Like, I'm not this 96 plus 4. That's a t-shirt.
96.
Like, I've never heard anybody say that before. So that's dope. Like,
Yo, get that trademark, whatever.
yeah,
Man,
that's
I got
super
you.
dope. So
I gotcha.
So what's been the response since that happened? Because I did see the video on Instagram. I wasn't sure. Like, that's why I touched base and wanted to make sure you were still coming on, because I was like, man, it seems like he's going through some things right now. Like, man.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
what's been the response been like?
Man, it's been a lot of love. It's
Mm.
been a lot of love, man. So many people commented on the videos, sent me DMs, sent me text messages, phone calls. And this is just, not only the greater Madison basketball community, just like I'm getting messages from all over the world, because people are seeing it. And it's again, the Bible says, blessed are you when people do you wrong, when you're persecuted, when they lie on you, they talk bad. And what that means is because it gives an opportunity for you to show people God. Like, how does somebody walking in a God power operate? You see what I'm saying? And like you said, like, you didn't know what I was going on. Like, man, this dude, he could be down, depressed, sitting somewhere. He could have left. Like, no, I'm standing 10 toes down. I'm gonna continue to do the best I can to inspire others, to motivate others. It was just very, very just beautiful, the response that I got. It really swelled my heart up to see that people really saw the value that I brought, not just basketball. Like, I have people like, man, we need you in the community. We don't want you to leave Madison. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Madison needs you. Like, you know what I mean? And that means a lot to me. I'm not even from here. I've been here for 6 months. And for folks to say that lets me know that I was impactful. And again, I get it, man. Them been people way greater than me trying to do way better, bigger things, than we've seen what happened to them. We've seen our leaders who try to change the world get shot down and assassinated. You see what I'm saying? So who am I? But somebody that's just a servant of the Most High trying to bless others. So I'm thankful to be able to share in the trials and tribulations, right? They say, take your cross. You got to bear your cross. What was the cross? They put nails up in your hand. They put the crown of thorns in your head. You know what I'm saying? They put the nail through your feet. But then on the third day, I jump up. You know what I'm saying? Come jump out the bed with my swag on. And that's what I'm trying to see, let everyone see. That no weapon form shall prosper. The only way that you lose is if you check out the game. But if you stay in the game, you keep the jersey on. When that buzzer sound, you're gonna be the champ. Just got to stay in it.
Yes, sir. Oh man, I love that. And you said you also, I believe in the video, you said you talk with the corporate business side of things like that. And so, how does, as you move forward, if you stay in Madison, first of all, I mean, I guess being from Boston, you're used to cold weather, so it shouldn't shock you that bad. But what's like, where do you go from here now if you stay in Madison?
It's a good question. Kind of trying to figure that all out. Then kind of been working with a middle school girls team on the side. Got a couple of high school offers. Just trying to figure out exactly what I want to do. There's a possibility that I get another opportunity somewhere else. It's hard to say because, like I said, I was chilling in Houston in April. It was 80 degrees. I had a townhouse. I was sitting on the balcony, and I got a call, and God sent me here. So, I definitely appreciate, opportunities folks are presenting to me to keep me here. Just waiting to see where the move is. Yeah.
I will say, so I have a 15-year-old son and like a giant kid.
Yeah.
And wrestle, play football, and out of nowhere last year wanted to play basketball.
Okay.
Like he plays with his friends sometimes.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, he didn't make the team. I didn't think he would make the team, but he didn't make the team. And it lit a fire under him. And then he started training with Corey.
Okay. Yeah.
And Corey, like, kid was getting up and ready to go practice at 6 a.m. twice a week.
Mhm.
That told me everything. I was
Yeah.
like, okay.
Yeah.
I'm like, even if you don't get better at basketball, it's going to develop a different kind of work ethic. Because
Yes.
when I talk to you about football, when I talk to you about these things, there's a price. And are you willing to pay the price? Are you willing to practice? Are you willing to
Yeah.
do this?
Yeah.
And so seeing him do that, and it's funny because I was planning on, we were checking out other facilities
Mm.
so I can give him more.
Yeah.
I want to give him every opportunity I
Get better.
can
Yeah.
to succeed. And so I asked Corey about 360, and he was telling me about it because he goes there with his boys.
Yeah.
But I was told how much better it got when you were there,
Mm.
that it became more about fundamentals. It became more
Mm.
about drills and things. And
Yeah.
now by this time, it was already, I already put him at another spot
Okay.
that
Yeah.
worked on, it's called Impossible, that worked
Yeah.
on,
Yeah. I know.
that-
Michael Lancaster.
yeah,
My
that
guy.
worked on at least the fundamentals that he wanted. And the other aspect is they do strength training and conditioning training over there as well.
100%. Yeah.
So it's like cool. And kid I know that went from D3 to D1 in football was training there.
Yeah. 100%.
So it's
yeah.
like, well, now let my giant son go over there and train there and do that.
Yeah.
So, like, first of all, I don't even care if this makes it on the pod. I want to connect you with the owner of the one of the Impossible here.
Okay. Yeah.
Because she's actually one of my students at my gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
she trains
Yeah.
at my gym,
Awesome.
and so
Wow.
my son trains at hers. And so
Wow.
it's
Wow.
but I have no idea for the workout, but like
Man,
that's
I
the first
appreciate
thing.
that. No, I appreciate that. That's love.
The fact that you focus on the fundamentals, it's something that seems to be talked about a lot, that's missing
Mm.
in,
Yep.
I don't want to say all sports, but I'll just stay focused on basketball.
Yeah.
It seems like they're not really focusing on that
Yeah.
as much. Now, what do you think the cause of that is?
Social media. So, a lot of times there's a top trainer or a top Instagram trainer with a lot of followers that I knew. And we had a conversation one time, and he said, it's better to be a content creator in the basketball training niche than to be a good basketball trainer. And this is someone who,
wait, what?
No. And I mean, if you can pull his page up right now. He's got like Rolls Royces, like he's really paid. There's no, he's made millions off of basketball, social media, Instagram, TikTok. And he said to me, it's better to be a content creator than to be a basketball trainer. Then he told me, he said, how many hours do you, he's like, how do you do your basketball training? I said, I do private one-on-one workouts for about an hour. He's like, you're wasting your time. I said, why? He said, because within that hour, you could have made 6 to 7 social media clips and made X amount of dollars versus spending that time one-on-one with that person, right? Now, before I even get to the personal side, let's just get back to your original question. So what happens is that the fundamentals is boring. There's a lot of training that I do that ain't gonna get a whole bunch of views on Instagram to the point I'm not even gonna videotape it.
Yeah,
It's a lot of this stuff, and that's gonna get you to play at the Division I level overseas or the NBA is not cute, right? So it's not gonna make social media. So a lot of trainers, they're gonna train and have the kids do stuff that's more advanced, the triple step back, 8 move combo, pull back, side step, hezzy. Can't forget the hezzy, and then the pull up, and then like all the kids is going crazy, but they don't realize that's a 5% or less of the game of basketball.
Yeah.
How many times you gonna have that much
Bro.
time to pull off that move? It's like everyone's gonna sit there and watch you dribble.
But if you watch even if you watch Kyrie Irving and the NBA guys that actually are able to pull that off, they just don't come down. It just doesn't start. They don't just they come off. They may come off a pin down. Defender, they get a switch. They drive, they get cut off. Now it's a pullback because they got cut off. Defense closed. Now it's a side step to get to it's purposeful. It's reactive. They're not just coming down, spamming moves. But this is what they're teaching these kids, and they got all the cone. And then the worst part, they're doing it against a cone. The cone don't move. It can't push you. It can't talk to you. There's nothing that's going on. And again, it looks good for social media. So what happens is that'll bring you more clients, and you'll feel like you make more money. I remember I was in one side, I think I was in Houston, and I remember the word on the street, the kid was like, man, Coach PK, man, he got some good stuff, but his stuff's boring. But it's like I didn't had in Houston. I was in Houston in 2 years. I had 5 conference MVPs, 10 all-region players, freshman of the year, defensive player of the year. But it was like, yeah, we know about all that, but we want to do the super step back crossover combo. And I'm like, man, we ain't doing that.
If I hear he's boring, then that tells me that's the one.
Yeah. To be honest.
So
be honest.
Out there, it's like, it's boring.
So the industry itself is goes against the fundamentals, and that's how come we see the European game taking over. When I go to Greece, when I go to France, they have these kids at an early age focus on fundamentals. So if they got 5 practices to 1 game in Europe, we got 1 practice to 5 games, and at 1 practice, half the team showed up. And again, you know, we can laugh about it, but for someone who loves the game, it's really sad because what it does is it cheats a lot of talented kids off of opportunities to use basketball to change their life.
Man, it's so crazy.
I'm telling you. So we were talking about like training and how to go about it and how to get it out of things, like the difference between how it's done in basketball and then with Muay Thai and the adjacent sports to what he does. It is night and day.
Yeah, the way. So when it comes to fighting, either boxing, Muay Thai, MMA, and I don't know if all gyms run like this. I know a lot of gyms that do this. First of all, you have a camp if you're going to fight.
Okay.
Right. Yeah. So like I have a female fighter fighting this Saturday, and at first she was booked for MMA. And her opponent got hurt, and they switched it and asked if she would take a title fight at Muay Thai or backgrounds Muay Thai. So yeah, it's not a problem. We just switched up the camp.
Okay.
But we were in a 2.5, 3 month camp.
Okay.
Now the difference is like the camp is specifically just to work on things for fighting.
Okay. Yep.
Where now she's driving from Illinois. She comes up here. I've been working with her on and off since she was like 14 or 15. And now I've become the full-time head coach.
Okay.
So she's up here a lot more with me.
Yeah.
But like my other fighters, they train 7 days a week. So my MMA fighters, they'll do like right now they'll do a Monday night or Monday evening Muay Thai class.
Yeah.
They'll also work mitts with me for 45 minutes before that class, probably.
Okay.
Tuesday, they'll do what we call a striking class where we're working on different more advanced moves.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. Nothing crazy. I always say simple and stupid.
Okay.
Like keep it simple and stupid. Like keep it simple and stupid. We don't need all these cool, flashy things you see on UFC sometimes. That's dope. That doesn't work all the time. So why are we repping this out? Rep that out on your own time.
Yep.
And then they do ground game. They do Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu later that night.
Okay.
So they're a lot of times on a Tuesday, they're there from 6 p.m. to like 9:30 p.m.
Yeah.
And then Wednesday evening, they train back to just Muay Thai. Thursday, they're doing ground game. Friday, they're doing striking stuff. Saturday, it's a mixture of MMA and BJJ. Sunday, they're sparring and doing whatever. Rinse and repeat Monday. And a lot of times, they're coming in the morning.
Okay.
They're doing morning and evening sessions.
Okay.
On top of weightlifting, on top of running. And I don't care how old you are. And it doesn't, even with my female fighters, you don't get treated any differently. Like you're grinding.
Right.
And so they got to do the normal classes on top of all the extra fight camp fight camp stuff. I've listened to people talk about basketball practices now and how it's so limited in the NBA.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And it's like, 100%. Well, how do you? And I can understand from an ownership aspect because you care about the bottom dollar. You care about the money aspect.
Right.
So having your multi-million-dollar player hurts the bottom line.
Right.
The thing that blows my mind is that how do you get better? How do you, because like this isn't, I tell them all the time, even though you're amateur fighters, I'm training you like you're a pro.
Right.
Like I know you work jobs. I know you have a job to go to.
Right.
And like I'll work my schedule around that.
Yeah.
But everything is so when you turn pro, we're not making any changes. This is just what it is.
What you do, yeah.
And so, like, I have 3 fighters that are about to turn pro, and it's the same work ethic. Like, I can't even understand why you would want to cheat that, and why not work on fundamentals? Why not work on the things? And if your goal is to do this the rest of your life, you need those.
Yeah.
You can rely on the basics. I don't understand it when it comes to basketball. When did you social media, I could see, but why do you think it changed so much even in the NBA, or is it just about $1?
Yeah,
And when
yeah.
Jordan alluded to this when I don't know if you saw Jordan's NBC.
Yeah, I
interview.
did see that.
I
Yeah.
think he was alluding to some of this as well.
Yeah. I mean, it's become entertainment. I mean, it's always been it used to be basketball entertainment, and now it's entertainment basketball.
Right.
Yeah,
Craig,
that's Craig.
I interviewed Craig. Craig said that.
Yeah,
Craig definitely said that.
And that's shout out to Craig Hodges, and that was because that's something he said to me in a conversation. So shout out to him for making that point. But that he's exactly right. So when you look at it, right, and it's funny, man, and I don't want to say too much, but we see what's going on with the gambling scandal, right? There is much more that will come. Not just currently. They're gonna start bringing out some retroactive stuff, right? Of stuff that's going on. So, for instance, the NBA contacting referees and giving them directions to do X, Y, and Z. That's been going on since the time of Magic and Bird. Like that's no new thing. But then the next follow-up question is who is telling them to send that message down? Like, why are you telling ref so-and-so to do this in this particular game? Well, what is your reasoning? Well, because may be associated with this particular group or that particular group. You see what I'm saying? So we're seeing a lot of things being revealed, and again, is whatever's going on at the top, it trickles down. And if the NBA product becomes more about entertainment in terms of their style, the kids that's watching is going to emulate it. But the reality is that, again, like I said, a lot of these kids, even if you do make the NBA, you get there and you'd be like, damn, I didn't know this was what it was. And you got to be able to adjust. So I got kids that have been good enough and been close enough. And it's those type of conversations that we have. And it's like, listen, this is a business. That's what folks got to understand, is this is a business. So I think, and that trickles down all the way to the AAU level, to the school level. It's a business. So, and whenever there's a business, we know that the love of money is the root of all evil. So whenever something becomes a money-based thing, you're not going to be able to make decisions on what's right, either in terms of the art form of the sport, or the moral part. That's the situation I was in, is that it's like, man, I believe in this. And they like, but no, we need to make money. Well, I'm like, well, we can make money by doing this. But they were like, well, we feel like by doing this is going to take away the money. But yeah, this is true to the craft. This is what the kids need. This is what the community needs. And then it's like, well, this is what the bank needs. This, you know what I mean? And then you always get those type of problems. And it's more pure in places like Europe, because now there's millions, there's big money in Europe too. But they ain't giving you $300 billion contracts. So that's where the purity comes in. Even the fans, you go to Europe, the fans are so into it, it's pure. You go to an NBA game out here, somebody yelling at a player, talk about they parlay. You see what I'm saying? NBA players getting threatened all the time right now, and college players, because of these parlays and all that. Like, so we live in a really different time right now from a sports perspective. I want to ask you, you had mentioned the process of fighting. How long does people have to fight before they get one match?
What do you mean?
In terms of practice, how long do they have to practice?
So that just varies. It depends on what their background is. So if let's say someone came in fresh out of the door, never did wrestling, never really played any major violent sports, I'll say. Not even not soccer could be violent, but let's say they didn't play any of the main sports.
Right.
So if they came in the door right now, they could maybe fight in June.
Okay.
Maybe. So you're talking 7 months. And the
Yeah.
only reason they could do that is because there's a tournament in June that's set up for people that have never fought before. So they have it
Okay.
broken down in divisions. They
Okay.
have a bracket where if you have 3 or less fights in this, you can all fight together in this
Okay.
weight class.
Okay.
And so, and they got it broken down in such great weight classes, and they do 2 weigh-ins over
Okay.
the weekend. So nobody's cutting drastic weight.
I see.
Like I
Okay.
could, like right now, I'm a big dude. Right now, if I just water loaded for like I drink about a gallon of water, but if I got it up to 2 gallons
Yeah.
over the next 2 to 3 weeks,
Yeah.
and just keep eating what I'm normally eating, I can just cut 20 pounds in probably a week after doing that.
Wow.
So that's what I mean. If I drop that
Yeah,
20
yeah.
pounds, and there's people that can do that. I have fighters that do that for
Yeah.
MMA fights. And so this tournament doesn't allow that. So
Mm.
you're not going against somebody much bigger than you. You're both about the same experience level. And then if you got more than 3 fights, you fight there's another division where you
Yeah.
can fight in that. And then basically once you're over 12 or 15 fights or something like that, then you fight in this division. And now you're going against people that could be pro or about to turn pro.
Wow. Okay.
And so because of that, it's a little bit easier to put them in this situation.
Yeah.
But even with that said, they're training every day. And then for this tournament, because they're fighting, if they win, some of my fighters that have won a belt, like you got to fight 3 to 5 times from Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Wow.
So
Okay.
one of those days you might be fighting twice.
Right. Right.
So we start camp in February to
Okay.
fight for June.
Wow.
So then their growth is insane
Right.
during that time because you're running, it's just you're doing so much.
Like a boot camp, essentially.
Yeah, I actually have some of my fighters have been former Rangers or Green Beret.
Okay. Yeah.
And they say I
Yeah.
coach just like if they were in the military.
Yeah.
So it's like
Yeah.
I run it the same way.
Yeah.
And I tell them all the time, I'm making you stupid. I'm like, you're not running from punches anymore. You're not ducking from them. I create so much trauma in that camp, just like a military,
Yeah.
that now your instincts know how to handle them. So when you get in a fight, it's not overwhelming. So it's just, it's sometimes it's like, I'll put them on the mat. I'll put them, Muay Thai is all standing up, lay on your back. And now I'll have other people do it first. And then eventually I'll get on. And I wrestled for 4 years. I know how to grapple very well.
Yeah.
And so, but I'm also big. So if I get on you and I drop my weight, it makes me feel double as big. That's what wrestlers do. So you could
Okay.
take a 120-pound kid that wrestles, he lays on you, all of a sudden he feels like he's 200 pounds. It's different. It's a
Okay.
different body awareness. And so,
Wow. Okay.
and the goal is to smother them.
Okay.
I want you to feel trapped.
Right.
You're trapped. And now you're going to give me 100% of everything you got to get out. And then you can't. And then you're going to freak out. And then now, do you keep fighting or do you give up? And so I had one woman, one of my female fighters, and she won a belt. She is right now until next year, she's the top fighter in North America
Yeah.
in her weight class in that division. And so she got a belt on my wall, but she broke. She couldn't get up. And it was the first time she felt trapped like that. Now, this is in a college. In college, she rode.
Okay.
Her dad is one of the coaches for the UW Badger soccer team.
Okay.
So like her mom coaches gymnastics, I think, at a high level. Like she's from this
High-level
pedigree.
athlete, yeah.
And she broke. And she was screaming and crying and clawing at my neck. And once I feel like you're not giving up and you're starting to move, and it's like I've already broken you.
Yeah.
Now without you even realizing it, I start leaving openings for you to get out. And now you have room to get up. And now do you have the mind frame to find the way out? Can you stay calm enough? And she's screaming and she's still working up. And then when she gets up and she finally stands up and she gets away from me, they already know, hands straight in the air because you just won. And then she's just crying. The next day she came in and said, thank you. I actually got a text from her. She's won a belt. She's in law school at Marquette right now. and she drives back and forth and she still does classes. She just sent me a text. She's talked about it out loud with almost everybody. So it like this anybody that watches it that knows her, it won't be a big surprise.
Yeah.
The Marines reached out to her, or she reached out to the one of the two.
Yeah.
She did an interview. They said, we think you're a perfect fit.
Wow.
You got to go through basic if you want to do this. And then we think you would be awesome for the JAGs. Like that's the law. Those are the lawyers in the military.
Yeah.
So she would do, if she passes basic,
yeah,
then she would do 10 weeks over the summer in Quantico.
Okay.
She passes that.
Yeah.
Her life is set. And the first thing she texted me, she was like, basically some of her words, she was like, I got this interview. I'm really nervous about it. And I was freaking out, but like, I just thought about it. Everything you said, is this the hardest thing I've ever been through? And she was like, it's not. And so it puts things in perspective real quick. And this is what I talk about. Is this the worst thing is this fight camp the worst thing you've ever been through in your life? And most of the time it's not, because in life it's so much harder,
man.
And so when you put it in that perspective, and then by the time you get into the fight, it's like, I'm nervous. I'm like, your fight will last maybe from warm up to finish 30 minutes at the most.
Yeah.
Like the rest of the time you're just chilling. It's like, you've done more in this fight camp than you will ever have to do in this fight.
Yeah.
The fight isn't even everything.
Yeah.
Win or lose, the result doesn't matter. You could want to win. Of course, I want to win every fight I coach.
Yeah.
But look at the person you have become. Look at the work you've done over the past 4 months to get here. Like, this is a cherry on top. You finally get to punch somebody for all the abuse you went through. Like, you get to take it to them. And so when I'm even saying that and I think about basketball, it's like, why wouldn't you want to train like that? Because now all this training, this sucks. It's boring. It's boring for us too to just sit there and throw a jab and throw the most basic thing.
Right. Yeah.
But it's the one thing I tell my fighters all the time. When I'm putting gas in my car, I'm sitting there shadow boxing.
Right.
It's like, I want to master everything about my craft. And it's like, why wouldn't you want to do that? Because now when it comes to game time, I've repped this out so much. I'm about to bust shit, man. I'm about to give it to you.
Yeah.
So you think I'm doing this? Oh, I did it. You think I'm doing this? I did it.
Yeah.
And then on the third one, I can see you're already anticipating it. Whoop, I got you now.
Yeah.
And it's like, now you don't know what to do. Now I'm going right back to that same thing. I can literally apply that to everything, because that's how I teach them to fight. It's like, keep it simple and stupid. Jab, kick.
Yeah.
Simplest thing. You get them worrying about that jab, get them worried about the kick. All of a sudden you fake that jab, they jump, kick. Oh, now I throw the jab, fake the kick. Oh, you jumped again. Now I punch you. It's like, there's so many things, simple and stupid. I don't understand why kids don't really work the basics. And now here's my question for you first, but both of you as coaches, how do you get around that? How do you fight that, knowing that you're dealing with the highlight reel on social media? And it was talked about before, like, everybody watches Steph Curry make these threes, but they don't count because it's all that showed is the highlights.
Yeah,
they don't see the misses.
Yeah.
And you damn sure don't see the misses in the gym. And so how do you coach around that? Like I said, if somebody doesn't want to listen to me, cool. I just watch them get punched in the face or watch them get taken down. Like both my fighters, two of my MMA fighters, not like I win everything. We lost both our title fights. And both of them, when we did film study, did not do everything we worked on. The simple things, the simplest things were not executed. And the first thing I said, I'm like, look, you guys didn't do your job, but I didn't do my job and make sure you were ready, because we shouldn't be having these problems. So we have to go back to the drawing board and we have to rep these out so you can execute what we're supposed to execute in there.
Yeah.
But that's violence.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. One of them got choked out and one of them just got taken down for 3 rounds, and both of them were predicted to win those fights. Like those fighters didn't do anything to beat us. I've lost fights.
Beat
themselves. I've lost fights where it's like, no, that person was just better than us. Like there was nothing I could have given, no adjustment I could have given you, nothing that we could have done. That person just kicked our ass. There was nothing else we could do about it. But these 2 fights, nah, they were not better than us. We just fell asleep at the wheel. And that goes from top down.
100%. 100%.
But now that's a lesson learned. They've already been grinding again.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
How do you guys do that as coaches? How do you nip the highlight reels, I want to do superstar plays, this is boring? How do you guys fight against that?
Man, you want to go first?
I'll let you go.
All right, man. Well, first off, I try to make my workouts the hardest workouts you're gonna have. That's number one.
Yeah.
So I let you know what time it is from the start.
Yeah.
I remember I had one of my good friends, one of my pro women's players. She came to work out with me the first time, and after that first workout, man, she was so tired. She was like, "Man, you got to give me a disclaimer." You know, before we do this again, you need to let me know, like, you know, and this is a pro, and she's a veteran. I mean, she's no slouch. She works out multiple times a day, multiple sessions. She's no slouch. So I really try to treat these workouts that really from start to beginning are so intense and demand so much mental, physical, and emotional focus, right? That when you get into the game, it almost should feel like, you know what, this is a little bit less pressure.
Yes.
And then I do a lot. So a lot of people train. I teach. So while we do a lot of actual technique, right? I do a lot of teaching in terms of not just the how, but the why and the when, right?
Yes.
So I try to not only give you the skills, but have you have the understanding of when and where to use them. And, you know, and then I also make sure that I stay true to that in terms of the content I produce. We do a lot of film study with the players. So they're able to look at themselves and also I try to help them understand exactly what you said. Stop watching highlights, watch full games. Like you think these NBA players is perfect? Like this games, like I remember back in 2012, it was the Lakers Celtics. And it was the second time they played. The Celtics had won in 2010. And Kobe Bryant in game 7, he wanted to win so bad. He had one of the worst games in that game 7 that I think I've ever seen him play. I remember at one point in the fourth quarter, he tried to shoot over 2 people. It hit the side of the backboard. This is Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And so, but when you watch the highlights, they only showing what he did good. But I said, watch that whole game. Yeah, he struggled. He took some bad shots, but you also want to know what else he did? He had 18 rebounds that game. He was the one who made the game-winning assist to Ron Artest to hit the 3 for them to go up. So which players you see, like, hey, there's gonna be days where things don't go your way, but it's not about everything going your way. It's about sticking true to the technique, to working hard. And you said, before I let you answer this question, I had to go back before it gets out of my mind. It's something that you talked about in terms of your training, in terms about trying to break people and bring them to a limit. You talked about laying down and smothering folks, and the process they go through when they're trying to fight and they realize, like, man, I can't get out. And then they're like, and then they start to break down. And you start trying and you kind of start losing it. And then you kind of give that last bit of effort.
Yep.
Right. It reminds me of how God brings challenges into our lives. See, sometimes God will allow things in your life to smother you.
Yep.
He'll allow the heavy weight to come down on you.
Yes.
And you get there and you don't know what to do. You feel like you're about to suffocate. And you can start panicking. You can start trying. You can start going crazy. But then you find just a little bit inside you to try to, I'm going to try one last time to get up. And when just like you said, when you see that, you start to create little openings.
Yep.
See, that's what he'll do, is because he just want to see how much faith that you have. It's how we got faith like a mustard seed. And once you start fighting, he'll start to open up a little doors. He'll start to take the pressure a little bit off, because it wasn't meant to kill you. It wasn't meant to defeat you, but it was meant to show you some type of fight inside. So that's why when things happen in my life, and I mean, you know, people's telling me, don't go on social media and talk about it. You know, keep it quiet. Don't do this. And I said, and they gave me a lot of good reasons. Like, I got a lot of good friends, a lot of professional reasons. Like, maybe you want to go work at another shoot 3. Like, and I said, all that's true. But see, my life is a sacrifice for others, and it's an open book. So somebody can see me going in a situation where they try to smother me. All right. But they see I'm not going to panic. I'm going to fight, because I've been through the smothering before. This time the stuff hit me in life and I panicked. I broke down. You see what I'm saying? I was in bad places in my life, but I just had a little bit of fight left. And that's what I'm trying to just get a little bit of fight left, because you can get up, and then after you get up and you defeat that battle, you don't know what other doors open up. Like you said, your client, because she learned something spiritually, then that other opportunity came in, because everything works on the spiritual component. And when you got that spiritual fight, everything becomes aligned. Man, but you gotta fight, man. You gotta fight.
You get it.
You gotta fight.
It's all the things that I put them through, and I try to explain this to them, and I tell them it doesn't matter if you believe in God, it doesn't matter what you believe in. Like, I'm not gonna have that conversation, but because I do, like, this isn't about being physical. Because at some point in a fight, maybe not the first fight, maybe not the second one, but you're going to run into a situation where your body is not responding. Do you have the mental makeup to do your job regardless of what's going on? And it's funny, like you were talking about that, and it made me think about, so one of my MMA fighters that's going to go pro soon is basically like my son. Him and my daughter have been together since she was like 14. He was 15. They're now 22, 21.
Wow.
So I'm just, he is constantly getting told, you need to put a ring on that finger. Like, you're a man of God. Like, you go to church, like, hey, what are we doing here?
Right.
But a couple fights ago, he had a rib injury. He was struggling making weight, and he was about to go against a kid that is fresh from Afghanistan, I believe, who had 40-something fights.
Wow.
But no MMA fights, just stand-up striking fights.
Yeah.
And he was struggling. He was like, I don't know. And I sat him down, and we talked about Job.
Yeah.
And because I know he's been through it, like a rough family life for him. So I'm like, we had this talk, and I'm like, you're being tested right now. That's all this is. You're being tested right now. It's not about winning or losing. It's about whether or not you can keep your head down and keep doing your job and make it into this. And it was the hardest weight cut I've ever seen him have because of a rib injury. And I'm like, we can pull out, but you're going to have to live with that. If you can live with that. And he was like, I don't know. I can't live with that. And he won.
Wow.
He won. Toughest fight he's ever had. And he won. And I said, you see, I'm like, even if you lost, you finished it. You did it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, everything isn't going to end like this, a storybook ending.
Right.
However, what you do know now is that there's nothing that you can't push through to make it. And I'm like, kid, that's the man that I want to marry my daughter.
That's dope.
Because that I know she'll always be good.
Right.
He'll always be leading. And like, it's we have different conversations now, but I thought about that. Like the story of Job always comes to mind to me when people are going through something, or when I'm going through something. I'm like, okay, this is a test. How bad do I want this? How bad do I want to succeed at this? I'm being tested now.
Yeah.
And can I stand up for it? And so that's dope.
Yeah.
How do you reach him, Corey?
Turn his mic on. I don't know that I do reach him. No, I go about it. It's changed over the years, because from when I was playing basketball and now, there's a lot more explanation that's needed behind the different drills and the techniques, or why we're going over things. And so, like, me predominantly working with youth, like, I've noticed, like, I have to give explanations to almost everything because it's why. Am I going to put this much effort into it? It's just, this doesn't make sense. It's like when you hear the thing when I go to school, it's like, well, I'm never going to use this in some of the classes. And so I like to, at least for the older ones, I like to sit and see where they're going, what their goals are. And so I want to sit down and just talk and chat with you. Like where are you trying to go? What are you trying to do? What are your expectations for next season? Like I added stuff in like, do you feel you were utilized correctly last season?
Mm.
I just want, this is not to cast aspersions on the coach or anybody else. I want
Yeah.
your point of view of like, well, do you believe you're put in the right position to take advantage of the gifts that you have?
Mm.
And so we talk about these things, we kind of mix them up, and then that helps me to know how I should lead, what things I should be pushing, what things I can emphasize. Like there's a kid that said, like, yo, like he's like, I play four, I'm an undersized four. All I did is defend and rebound for the for the whole season,
Man.
but I think I'm a guard. And I said, say what? I was like, okay. I was like, we'll test, we'll try that. We'll tread on those plays and test out those waters and see if you have those attributes.
Right.
And sometimes in a team, because of the makeup, you just have to play that role.
Yeah.
That may not be who you are, but I need you to play this role for this team. And so for me, I try to talk with them. I try to gather as much information as I can.
Yeah.
And then to try to say, here's how I want to move forward with you individually or as a group with this group.
Yeah.
And so when I do drill work, yes, is it boring and mundane? I mean, absolutely.
Yeah.
But I think that you have to be able to build a foundation.
Right.
And so along with explaining why I'm doing it, which sometimes to me goes ad nauseum, I reverse engineer the highlights many times.
Yeah.
And so, like, we'll do a dribble like an in and out through the legs or something like that. I was like, oh yeah, you saw Ant-Man with the through the legs, woo step back. I'm like, yeah. So to be able to do this, you have to master this part, this part, this part, before you get to that part.
Right.
Because I saw you and when you were just shooting around and you was trying to do all that and it looked awkward, shot hit the side of the backboard and all these other things. I'm like, well, yeah, a lot of it's going to start with your feet. It's going to start with how you set it up. It's going to start with all these things that you're basically completely overlooking. And so like, even like the group I had today, I had 2 7th graders. We reversed, we were doing some basic shooting form stuff. All we're doing is like ball. We pass the ball, jump forward, shoot the ball.
Simple stuff.
And he's like, well, why do I need to do this? Well, I'm like, well, I see when y'all start pulling up for the jump shot, one, y'all have a whole lot of ball movement that's going to create an extra possibility for an error for you getting to your shot. I'm like, so let's work on the hop, 2 feet on balance. That was hard enough. 2, ball should not move. You should be in your shooting position. Ball should not move when you get to that hop. Get into the hop. Now go from your 2 position, now up to your 1 position, follow through, use your knees, momentum of the shot to be able to get it up there.
Right.
I'm like, these are all small things that you're thinking that coming down in and out, step back, all this other stuff. And I'm like, one, you're trying to do step backs. You're not even doing it on balance.
Right.
One, you're not even in the shooting pocket.
Right.
Yeah. Your motion has too much movement. By the time we get to release the ball, you all over the place and you follow through it and it wasn't even where it needed to be.
No,
and so I'm like, we're gonna spend like 30 minutes on this. We're gonna go to a couple different spots. Simple hop. Keep it in the shooting pocket, up, follow through. Let's see if we can get this part. Then we can add another things. Maybe we can go back now. Maybe we can go forward and back now. Maybe we can face away from the basket, then flip back to face the basket and then now shoot. Now we can add in little nuances that'll make it harder because the game and the game speed is going to be harder.
Right,
and then we add in things with, we can add in things with timers, clocks, where we have a hand up and things of that sort as we go along. So I'm like, we got to go here. And the other thing I had to realize is that as much as I want to, I'm not going to be able to reach everybody. And I think part of that was a little hard for me to deal with when I started. I'm like, oh man, we'll get into this, and then we'll have this dope offense. They'll be geeked for it. We'll be up and down and da 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 da. And some people just weren't in a position for whatever reason to really take being led at that point. And so the ones that do take it, they can go far, and they can add so many facets to their game. As long as they're able to, one, listen, be dedicated, be patient with the process. There's a lot of lack of patience, which feeds to the social media. I want to do this now.
Instant gratification.
I want to do this now. Well, we aren't there now.
Yeah.
You know how many hours that person has been working, how many
Man.
times a day they've already had a workout,
Man.
how many hours, the things that they've kept doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, you can build up to that, but you got to be patient.
Yeah, man. I am happy that I don't coach basketball because I believe it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I love
Yeah.
I love going to the park and still, playing.
Yeah.
Like I played ball in school. It was
Right.
fun.
Yeah.
Just the passion. If I was passionate about it, maybe. But then I also know it's like I would be tested so often in that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I am envy isn't the right word. I respect you two so much because I know I can hear the downside of it. And I know there's there's plenty of upside.
Right.
And you focus more on the upside, but the downside to me is just like not having an answer for that would irritate me. And I think that's the difference where I own my own gym and I'm the head coach. It's like this is the way we're doing it.
That's it.
Like
Ain't no other
roll
way.
with it
Yeah.
or find a different coach, and that's fine. And like to the point where like, no, we're not taking this fight, or you're not ready for this, or you're hurt. We're not doing this. It's like even my fighters that are not pro yet, they're right there. Other gyms might send them pro. It's like once we go pro, there's no going back.
Yeah.
And I just don't think we're at that point where it's like if you get your head smashed in, like that's not something good. Like one fight can change your life.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that we're climbing this ladder intelligently.
Yeah.
And we're doing things smart. And I've been very blessed. Everybody has trusted me. And the ones that haven't, they went to other gyms, and it'll eventually happen where someone leaves and they find success, but it hasn't happened.
Right.
And that's not so much just me. That's just they weren't ready and they went to a different gym.
Yeah.
Jumped too early.
Yeah.
And it's like you just weren't ready for that. It's like,
but that's what I like about what you have versus how some of these AAU things set up. Like last year, like I had to step in for a team because the night before they got blown out by 100 points. No, literally.
Oh, I know. I seen them scores in AAU. I've seen it.
So how do you guys navigate that though? Like, how do you navigate? And you said you don't coach AAU.
So
right?
So shout out to Corey. I mean, he's the one who deserves all the applause, admiration. A hug probably. Like he shout out to Coach Corey, man, because I remember coaching AAU and just being in a constant emotional stress. Because what happens is that all those things that you mentioned, right? The processes of doing things in proper order, proper development, a proper self accountability. The AAU system is almost designed to go against all those things, right? Yeah. Number one, it's a pay for play system. So therefore, if you're paying, then you feel like this. Remember the saying, the customer's always right.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why he has to explain everything ad nauseum is because everyone feels like they have a right to get an explanation or give their opinion. I had an 8th grade girl the other day in practice asked me, she was like, shouldn't we be doing this? And I said, Coach Staley, I said, I appreciate you. But I said, I got it. And I just walked away. I didn't want to get on her too much, but not even mad at her, but because we live in a society, right? Not just basketball. We live in an entitlement, fast result, instant gratification society. And those of us who go against the grain, a lot of times we look a little bit off. It looks a little bit crazy. And if we're not in situations like you where we're able to completely control all the processes, right? A lot of times you find yourself in tough situations, kind of like I'm in now, but I've also been in situations on AAU teams where parents or even AAU directors didn't like my style because, like, you got to come to practice. The AAU director is like, well, I don't want to tell the parents that they got to make sure all the kids come to practice, because then they'll take the kid to another team that doesn't mandate practice, and they'll take their money elsewhere. And I'm like, well, they can take their money elsewhere, but but when you're working again in an environment where it's become such money driven, you're getting money decisions. You're not doing decisions as what's right, and it makes it difficult to do those things. But what I will say is that, as it relates to the kids, if you can, it's relationship building.
Yes.
And that's my biggest thing is beyond any basketball stuff, is I try to build relationships that last. And when we're teaching these kids these values through the game, right? Hard work, dedication, don't look for instant gratification, perseverance, accountability. When you teach them all these things in a game of basketball, the hope is, just like you said about your daughter's boyfriend, is that those adversity traits creates those characteristics in you that's going to help you be a better father, a better husband, a better boss or employee or whatever that you do. I remember I had a kid that I trained. He played 1 year in college. After that, didn't really work out for him, and he went and had to get into the workforce. And this was, I was living in Louisville, and we had like a party before I left Louisville, where it's kind of like me going away party with all my former clients. And I had some guys that really made it pretty far in that at that party, but I had guys that like him, and what he said was the most important thing than all the other guys. There was a G League kid there, a D1 kid. He said, because of the morals and values you taught us, it made me want to give back. And now I got a job working at an orphanage with kids who had been orphaned. And now I'm able to share some of them same lessons about perseverance and not giving up, and how it feels when nobody loves you or being abandoned. You see what I'm saying? And all those different things. And it was just because of basketball. So, I say to coaches like Coach Corey, is as hard as it is, how frustrated as it is that you don't know the impact. You may not see it for 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years. And you may be talking to 10 kids and you say, oh, I don't know if I'm even getting through to them. I can guarantee you that you're getting through to somebody. And and that person that you got through to is gonna then get through to another 10. And then that person is gonna get another 10. And see, that's how the kingdom isn't this religious thing. I don't talk religion. I don't even go to church. I don't talk religion. So I'm talking about stuff that's it, because the spirituals is reality. What we see in the physical is just a manifestation of the spiritual. So what we living in is fake. That's the fake. That's the false reality. If you get into spiritual reality, all these principles that we try to teach through basketball, through fighting, through all these things is really what's most important. And if you master those things, that means you become a master in reality. If you become a lot of people who think they're masters in falsehood. You're masters in unreality. You can play games with social media, with the cameras. You can play games with your followers. You can play games with the views. You can get all the high-tech equipment now. You can do AI. You can do all types of false reality. But the only thing that really stands is really what's real.
Yes. That's
what's real. And either people going to get with it or they not. Yeah. And you can go run somewhere else. And, I remember, I'm so glad that you had mentioned earlier, you had talked about the different gyms. You're looking for a gym for your son, looked at Shoot 360 with the IPT, and the word on the street is that since I got there, the quality of the basketball and all that at Shoot 360 increased. And the only reason I say that is because the on the way out, the owner said, he's like, I really think we're gonna do much better without you. Right. And the reason I said things, maybe think about you talking about people leaving what you were doing because they didn't want to put in the work. They didn't want to do things the right way. So people will reject you. People will walk away. People will tell you're not good enough, but you got to continue to stand on those values and morals and not change. And I made it clear from day one, there was no amount of money. There was nothing that you can ever hold over my head that's going to get me to come off the principles of truth, what's right and what's wrong.
Mhm.
And if you can do that, then you can stand in the mirror and know that you stood for what's real.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You control you. You can't control nobody else. We
Yes.
can't control these kids, these parents. We can't control anything about ourselves. But if we stand for what's right, other people can be inspired
All
by
day
that, and
long.
lives could be changed just by the truth. The truth is the truth. It'll set you free, and it said you'll be free and free indeed, though.
Man,
Not just regular free. You're gonna be free.
See, I wish I could talk to that guy that owns that place, because like I understand the bottom line, because I own my own gym,
Yeah, of course.
and it aggravates my wife sometimes. But she knows we are not leading money first.
Yeah,
It is like
yeah,
the impact, like, and because she's always like, you invest so much time and you're not always getting paid for it. I'm like, I'm getting paid for it in a different way.
100%.
I'm like, you don't understand how good it makes me feel
Mhm.
to see someone that was thinking about calling it a day.
Mhm.
3 months later, they have a smile on their face because they didn't do that. And
Mhm.
because they kept training, they kept working. And life, just like anything else, ebbs and flows. Like the highs are never the highest, the lows are never the lowest. It's like
Mm.
once you realize that, this life becomes way simpler. And
Mm.
it's
Mhm.
it I wish I could, because listening to you, I don't have to know that you're skillful in basketball. Hearing you, like knowing that I would let my son learn from you,
Mm.
that's a big thing for me. Like if
Yeah.
if I rock with you and I could put my family around you,
Mm.
that's different,
That's
right?
real.
So that's real different. And
That's
so
real.
it's like if you're having that impact on kids there and young adults, on top of giving them a better skill set,
Yeah,
it's like
yeah,
you, at some point, the bottom dollar doesn't matter,
yeah,
because the impact you're gonna make,
yeah.
because it's like, if for that business, do you want to just make money right now and be forgotten about in a year or two?
Right.
Or do you want this to
Right.
be a legacy that 30 years from now you can hang pictures up of kids that actually were successful and made it to college, and even if they didn't make it to the NBA, they got a degree.
Got a degree.
They got a degree, they've turned it around, and now
Yeah.
they're coming back and they're telling stories. And so it's so weird, because football seems to care. You gotta, in football, again, violence, you gotta focus on the fundamentals. And I know some positions they love to highlight, but I guess because I played lineman, my son is a lineman, it's like there's nothing pretty about that. It's
No.
if your fundamentals are off, your quarterback dies.
Yeah.
So it's like,
100%,
or you're
100%,
getting
yeah.
beat up. So I
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah.
it's so, like, you guys, listening to you guys talk is like, I really wish I had a fighter to go work with right now. Like I won't see them. I won't see them for a few hours. It's
You're
like
ready to go.
I'm charged. Like you guys,
Man.
so kudos, because I only get passionate like that when I'm around dope coaches. Like any coach that I truly loved, to this day, I'd run through a wall for him.
Yeah.
It's like, oh,
Yeah.
there's nothing I need to do this. Cool.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I'm gone.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go. And so they were my father figures. Like
Mm.
they gave me something that I didn't have the way I wanted to have it. So
Right.
my last question,
Yes,
sir, regardless if you stay in Madison, I'm just letting you know, I want to chop it up more,
Oh,
because
cool.
I
Yeah.
feel like
Yeah.
there's so much that we can touch on and go way deeper. You were talking about the spiritual realm and manifest, basically just everything here isn't real. And I'm like, yeah, someone just thought about it
Mm.
and it just sort of got built,
Right.
either by them or somebody they told. And I'm like, so everything is like you're living in a virtual reality. So like even having that conversation,
man, that's
like,
a deep one,
yeah,
too.
exactly.
That's a needed
So
one.
my
Yeah.
last question for you, and you've talked about different things, but what was that moment when you had to take control of your life? We all live our lives and it's like, oh, it's fun. And maybe
Mhm.
we're not the one driving the car, right?
Mhm.
But at some point, something happens
Mhm.
and you got to take the wheel and take responsibility and take control of your life. So what was
Mhm.
that moment for you?
Well, I'm glad you answered that. I think this would be a great last question. So probably about 2017, I was about 30. I was in my mid about 34. I was in Boston, it's in my hometown. So I had came home from playing professional basketball, had got a lot involved with a lot of community stuff. So I started a nonprofit called the Love Movement. So I was doing a lot of stuff with kids in the gangs, kids in violence, and started a basketball program to try to help kids get out of violence. And I became very big in the kind of the black community, the black church, the black political scene in Boston. And the deeper I got into it, I saw a lot of crazy stuff. I won't get into a lot of the details with that. But when they talk about secret societies and all these different things, all that is real. And I was trying to fight and advocate for the community, and came to realize that others that you would think were fighting and advocating for the community weren't really doing so. So I was young. I remember there was a Cat Williams interview when he talked about it, said, going against the Illuminati and talk about you say certain things and you don't know the consequence. You end up hitting a hornet's nest. And so I was in Boston. I was saying a lot of stuff, and I kind of got myself on the wrong side of some powerful people. And simultaneously, I was in a relationship with my daughter's mother that was really, really toxic. And everything kind of came to the head in 2017, where she essentially had called the police on me and said I hit her when I hadn't hit her, and tried to get me locked up and stop me from seeing my daughter. And it was very devastating. I was dealing with that. I actually had 2 kids I'd mentored that previous summer who had got killed. So I wasn't doing a lot of stuff. I mean, it seemed everything I feel like I was being smothered, right? I was at that smothering phase. And I said, I got to make a change. So I packed all my stuff. Well, I moved into a rooming house for a month. I was living by myself. I remember being in tears, trying every single night for a month. I'd go out and do my basketball workouts. I come in, all I had was this one little room in someone's house in a little bathroom, and I would sit in there and I would cry, and I was missing my daughter, and I was just devastated for days and days. And I actually had put out my job application on Indeed, and I ended up getting a job coaching at a high school in Louisville. And it was crazy because they ended up hiring me over a Zoom call. Like I didn't never even met me, but they just that was the creator creating a new opportunity for me. So I remember I packed all my stuff. I got on an Amtrak, and I took a train 24 hours from Boston to Indiana. Then I took a 2-hour Greyhound bus from Indiana to Kentucky, and I restarted my life. All I had in that bag of stuff was a whole bunch of basketball equipment, some sneakers, some clothes. I think I had maybe $3,000-$4,000 in the bank. I remember right before I got on the train, I called my daughter's mother and said, I'm leaving. And I'm about to move. I'm leaving, and that's for good. And she didn't believe me, and she's like, "You leave it? Are you lying? You lying?" I sent her a picture of me about to get on the Amtrak, and I said, "The next time you see me, I'll be on ESPN." Now, mind you, at that point, I had lost everything. I had nothing, and I remember her texting back, and I won't say exactly what she said because there's a bunch of swear words in there, but basically, it was like hell will freeze over.
Right.
Before you end up on ESPN. 3 years later, the college team that I coached ended up on ESPN 3 times. That's why I have that picture on my Instagram post. So what for me was a situation where I was at the lowest at my life, catapulted me to be able to do things in my life that I never could imagine. I remember sitting there trying every night and think it was all over. Like, what am I going to do? What else is left for me? But I still had a little bit of fight left, and I had a little bit of belief left. I said, maybe if I go somewhere else and start fresh and maybe not make some of the mistakes and maybe learn from some of these lessons, I can really be fully who God made me to be. And from that point on, my life just blew up. I mean, I could not have imagined all the places that I've been able to go, training NBA players, being in Las Vegas with all these big social media basketball celebrities, going to France, going to to the island of Crete to do a camp, and there's no possible way. And I wake up every day And I know that I proved everybody wrong. I know I proved the people wrong that didn't believe in me, because there's plenty of people, friends and fam, everyone turned on me when everything had fell apart. Because I was a big time ball player in the city, and I had all the love, but they love you when you're up, but they don't love you when you're down. And a lot of people that showed me love, they turned on me. People that I had helped, they didn't believe me. They thought I was done. So I had to go somewhere else. I had to prove to them the power of God that's in me. And so I'm so glad you answered that question, because that was the turning point of my life. So that's when stuff happens to me. Now I look back and I said, man, ain't none of that gonna shake me. I already been through that. This ain't smothering me. I can breathe.
Yeah.
I know what it is. I know what it is to fight. Matter of fact, if you just give me a little bit of room, I'm gonna be okay. And it vindicated, and I know that and I tell that story not to brag or to be like I told you so, but God did that to show you what he will do with his chosen children. You can't stop a divine plan that he got. You can't stop that. And I'm just living that out. And my life even now is just a further continuation of that story. Just because, hey, you'll make it out, but don't think that the battle stops.
Yeah,
because the higher you go,
Yep.
they said different levels, different devils.
Yep.
The higher you go, the more they're gonna hate you.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying? But ultimately, I'm so thankful to people that are able to see and hear this story, to see me live it out in real time. A lot of people do a lot of talking. You go on social media, a lot of motivational speakers, a lot of people talk about, dude, nah, man, watch my life. Watch my life. If you look at my life and you can't see the power of God, and again, we're not talking religion. We ain't talking about getting you to convert or I'm talking about real life substance. You don't get this power that I move with for no TED talk. This is what I'm saying. You don't get that. So yeah, man. And shout out to everyone who didn't believe in me. Shout out to my daughter's mother. Shout out to the boss at Shooters. Shout out to anyone that did not see me for who I truly was, because thank you for allowing me to move on and get to around some folks that do. That's all. I was released. You see what I'm saying? To move on to something else. But at the end of the day, I know that in the time that I had, I made impact. These 6 months with these kids, I had a parent text me the other day, and she was like, man, I'm so upset. So-and-so, he doesn't really get upset, but he really was in tears. He really was in tears. You got to ask yourself, when dude was making that decision, did you think about these kids? But it's all good, because at the end of the day, even though a kid have tears, they're going to see something that's called perseverance. If I persevere, you persevere. I had a kid one time in Canada. I did a camp with him in Jamaica. He's from Canada. I had lost track of the kid, and finally hit me up. I said, man, where you been? What's going on? He's like, man, it's been rough for me. I was been depressed, and I even tried to kill myself. And I was at that point. And he was like, man, why don't you just call me? He was like, coach, I didn't really want to call anyone, but he was like, I just used to watch your videos and seeing the stuff he was talking about. And he was like, you don't know how many times watching your video got me through a tough time. So I'm grateful for all the situations that I go through, so that I can show what it's like. Because, see, I can't go and allow this situation to have me walking around mad and angry and bitter and upset. Because if I do that, somebody's life may be on the line. You see what I'm saying? The power of the platform I move with is so important that if I sit there and get depressed and down and give up, somebody else may do that, and it made me no coming back, and I carry that with me. So I'm going to continue to stand on real stuff, and I thank y'all, brothers, for having this platform. I thank you for seeing enough power in me to connect me with this brother, to be here.
Corey had
You
nothing
understand
but
that?
great things to say about you.
I appreciate that. I just try to let my light shine. And man, at the end of the day, man, all you can do is control you. And I know at Judgment Day, he's not going to ask LeBron about Game 7. Not going to ask Jordan about 6 rings. But what did you do to bless other people? And just, people can say what they want about me, but just judge me on that. What have I done to be a blessing? That's all I got.
Man, thank you so much for sharing that, man. Wow. Yeah, we definitely need to chop it up more, because there's so much we could talk about. And if there's anything that we could do, regardless if it's Madison or somewhere else. Like, brother, like, let's make it happen.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you control you. We out. Peace.
Peace out.
Man.
Oof. That's
Oof.
dope. My God.
Man, brother. Thank
Love,
you so
bro.
much.
Love, bro.
Thank you.
Straight
Thank
to you,
you.
bro.
Like what
You
you
a real one, man.
like the
Appreciate
things